Yeah, welcome. Hello, this is back to a little bit regular format for our longtime viewers. This is the 12th episode of the 1080C podcast, I believe. As always, I am Trevor Valentine,
I'm Sophie Ryan.
Willis Fuller.
and here we are. We're back again, socially distanced once more, just out of habit mostly. But today we're going to talk about foreign movies. As we all know, filmmaking as an art form, contrary to popular belief, is not only in America, it is in other places as well. And I feel like this would be a great
crazy.
time to prop up some of our favorite foreign films. So, yeah, we're just going to open up the conversation, maybe have a little bit debate. I don't know. We'll see. But I guess we can start off, or whoever wants to go first. What would you say is your favorite foreign movie and why, maybe?
It's so hard to pick favorites.
Yeah, that is true. I guess,
I could just list some that I love personally, but like
Right.
all of mine fall into like the horror thriller area because I guess that's like what I do, I guess, which is terrible for me. I need to really expand my horizons. But like Train to Busan, The Wailing, which I will continue to talk about for the rest of my life, I think. There are just so many good like foreign horror that have barely touched American soil or have gotten the American remakes.
It's unfortunate. It's such a sadness.
The Ring was pretty good. It was a good remake.
I vaguely remember the American remake of The Ring. So
It's fine.
yeah, I
It's
don't.
fine. Sure,
good.
I'll say it's
It's good.
fine.
It's inoffensive, I guess. I don't know, but
How do you feel about the Train to Busan American reboot they keep talking about, bro?
I just don't understand why. I think the movie has been out long enough that if people wanted to watch it, it's available. Subtitles are not that bad. It is literally just like
I feel like having trains in America just doesn't make sense that people would.
yeah. Yeah, there's not like an active monorail system for it to make sense. Like
Subway to New York.
subway. I've never been to New York, so I don't know what the subway situation is like, but
It is not on the same length as Train to Busan.
It's not, but I was trying to find something that's like
it's close, I guess. Yeah, I don't get why they. That's just like, well, that kind of goes into another thing, like American remakes of foreign movies, and they're making that Parasite TV show, which I'm intrigued to see, I guess.
I'm glad somebody is because I would rather die.
Who is anyone from the original Parasite crew working on it?
Bong Joon-ho is overlooking it.
Okay.
So he's making sure.
This is his second movie to get a show because Snowpiercer got a show.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it, but I've heard it's really good.
Interesting. I haven't watched Snowpiercer the show. I've watched the movie, which is very.
It's got a big cast.
Yeah.
Too.
Shout out Tilda Swinton, by the way. Great actress. But yeah, like American remakes and stuff, it's always a little weird. Like there's the infamous, please, anybody listening to this, do not watch this movie. The Spike Lee, Josh Brolin remake of Old Boy, which is just so bad. It's very bad. It's not good at all.
Oh God.
It is very bad. It's not good. Old Boy is it's kind of a hard movie to remake. I don't know why they thought they could do that, but yeah, it's a iconic Korean movie, of course, that is amazing. It probably has one of the best twists at the end that I've seen in thrillers.
Best is it's hard to describe that
it's
twist,
it is so.
but it's one of the most intense movies you'll probably ever watch, just
for sure,
for emotional investment.
for sure.
But right now we're just talking about Korean movies. I'm trying to think of like, I don't know many Chinese movies that aren't like period pieces.
Right, and like French cinema is like very like.
I don't touch mainland Europe. Mainland Europe makes the worst movies. I don't care.
Damn.
Like
damn.
I can name Das Boot, Raw, and that's it from like mainland Europe.
So you're not a 400 Blows fan,
No.
I like that movie.
I will say one of the foreign films that I like forced our movie night group to sit down and watch was Taxidermia, which is a Hungarian piece that's like a commentary on like post Soviet Union occupation of, but it's like a really it's a weird movie, and I don't know if I would recommend it because it was just so weird, and like I didn't really see how like it was a social commentary, but maybe I just don't know enough about like Hungarian culture. But it was interesting. It had really nice visuals. It was just very uncomfortable.
Speaking of uncomfortable movies that I watched, I think a year ago, this is an Eastern Europe movie, Come and See from 1985. It's made by a Russian filmmaker, and it is probably the most disturbing movie I've ever seen in my life. It's about a kid in World War II, I believe, that gets like, he just sees all the horrifying stuff that happens in war, and it's so graphic, and it is so, I couldn't look. It's like one of those movies where it's like, it's so disturbing that you can't look away.
They really don't like to not show everything, and because like there's a particular part in Taxidermia that's all about like competition speed eating, and like like it was so bad, it was so gross, and like I never want to see any amount of like food consumption to that detail in a film ever again.
That there's a scene in Come and See which is burned in my brain, where there's like he gets split up, and this family or this like whole group of people, like refugees, are trying to escape, and they get locked in a barn. Like the Nazis lock them in a barn and set it on fire, and you just hear the screams, and it is so disturbing. I gave it a 5-star review because I was like, okay, this is a masterpiece, but I'm never watching this movie again. That traumatized me. Like I didn't need that. Like there's just so much, like it doesn't feel like a movie at certain points. It just feels like you're watching actual people. And there's a lot of like close-ups that make you really uncomfortable and stuff like that. It's a very dirty movie. They're like in mud, like falling down and stuff repeatedly. There's like a scene they're walking through a swamp, and like
there's a scene in Taxidermia where a man eats a pig's corpse, and it is shown to completion.
God.
Yeah.
Something about, I don't know what it is, like foreign filmmakers, I guess because they have less restrictions in a sense, I guess. They just kind of go for stuff, and I kind of respect it, but sometimes I'm just like, I don't even know why you want to show this, man.
Europeans are weird.
Yeah. They're a little weird.
Not a film, but TV show Dark, which is on Netflix, is German, and that was really good, and I really enjoyed that one.
I've heard a lot of good things about that. I've been meaning to watch it. So it
gets very complicated very fast, and part of me had a trouble keeping up with it, but I really enjoyed it overall.
That's what's up.
Talking about shows, we got to talk about Kingdom, which is super underrated. It's about like mid-period Korea being infested with zombies. So you have basically Korean like katana sword fights with zombies for like 2 seasons. Right now they're still trying to get budget for the 3rd season, but basically you can just like, it's like the new age in Korea. They had like a lot of zombie stuff recently.
Yeah.
I'm trying to notice that. But like, I'm trying to think of like gross things I've
Zombies
seen.
are on the out right now, I would say.
They've been making a lot of movies. Like in Korea, they've been picking up for like a good while. In America, they're kind of going out though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's because The Walking Dead, that was like, for Korea, like it started picking up what, around the same time. Because when was Train to Busan? 2016?
I think so.
Yeah. 2016. And then there's Kingdom that came out 2018, I think. There was the hashtag movie, or it's
Yeah, Train to Busan is 2016.
hashtag Alive. I think that's the name of it, which is another Korean zombie movie, which is really good. I'd say solid 6 out of 10, where like it's about 2 people stuck in their apartments and they're trying to find a way to communicate and get out of a zombie apocalypse.
Interesting.
Like that's pretty good.
Speaking of monster movies, I guess one of my favorite movies or Korean movies, Thirst by Park Chan-wook. It's a vampire movie and it is very awesome. I really like it.
When did it come out?
I think like 2008 or 9.
Makes sense. Vampire.
It is very cool. Like it's kind of like a vampire. I hate to say it. It's like a vampire romance movie, but it's like dark. It's not like the, accordance with the times, like the Twilight type stuff. It's a lot darker and there's like a lot of gore. And it's a very awesome movie. It's got some really cool shots in it. That's another thing I like about, I guess, Korean cinema. Like I like how they play with tones a lot. Like movies, it'll go from like you're laughing to you're like trying to figure out what the hell is going on to it just really, I like that they jump around a lot. It makes it more interesting, I think. They don't really
makes it harder to piece together.
Yeah.
I think.
Like,
which is great.
Like Parasite, for example, it's kind of a genre hybrid. It's not real, like it's a very hard movie for me to explain to people. It's like without giving away too much. It's just like
it's one of those that you have to see to understand.
Yeah, because I remember when I got out of the theater, when I saw it in theaters, and my mom was like, "So, what was it about?" And I was like, "Oh, this is gonna take me a minute." But that's another. I'm glad that movie got the recognition that it deserved and kind of opened, I guess, the casual viewer's mind to like, hey, there are cool movies coming out besides just America, So I'm very happy about that. We have talked a lot about Korean movies, I feel.
I can segue. I think we need to talk about Kung Fu Hustle. And how it kind of,
I love that movie.
It's like there was a poster in Shang-Chi I saw earlier, so I'm kind of thinking about it again. It's like, oh, that was a good movie, and it's like in the background. But I think that shows the difference between Western storytelling and like Asian storytelling, and just like you'll never see something like Kung Fu Hustle in America, where it's just it goes so over the top, but keeping a somewhat straight face.
Yeah,
but still entertaining at the same time.
I love them. That movie is awesome. I watched it, I think 2 months ago. It was on HBO Max, and I was like, "This is awesome." It's just so fun. Like like you said, movies in America, they tend to try to. Very few movies try to go for that over the top feel and keep a good balance, I think. It's like there's serious moments in the movie, but there's also like really goofy stuff as well. So
like like the sonic scream of the old landlady, because that was this, it was just out of nowhere. She just has this supersonic scream, and it turns out her and her husband are super kung fu martial artists too.
Yeah, that movie is
What a
awesome.
twist.
That movie is awesome.
Then you have to go into like martial arts and how Jackie Chan does physical comedy compared to American physical comedy, which is like America, we kind of have poop jokes a lot of the time, a lot of like smashing into stuff like jackass. Am I allowed to say that? Will I get censored?
No, I feel like because it's the title of something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you can call it, like jackass physical comedy is you see people get hurt, like AFE. But with Jackie Chan, it's all so coordinated and but perfectly timed because he uses props so well. Like, I'm trying to think of like Drunken Master is just a good example because he has that sloppy movement, but it's all coordinated. And he nearly broke his neck on that set.
Oh, I didn't know
which
that.
is also insane. Yeah, you can. Or is it The Legend of the Drunken Master? I watched a lot of kung fu movies as a kid.
Me too. I think it's kind of
a lot. Yeah.
Like, especially I think because I was really into The Matrix when I was a kid. So I used to watch those movies and then I'd look up like, yo, so where did they like find out how to do some of this stuff? And then I think one of the first foreign films I watched, Hard Boiled by John Woo, which is a very awesome movie. It's a lot of cool gunfights and doves flying and stuff. And there's like a scene where like I think it's Chow Yun Fat is in a hospital carrying a baby and like shooting at bad guys, and it's so awesome. But yeah, like I like the way I liked it more, especially with the like action franchises that are out now, like John Wick or to some degree Mission Impossible. I kind of like that they're going that American movies are trying to replicate that style because there's just such a craftsmanship about it, that I feel like sometimes it gets lost with all the huge CGI spectacle that currently occupies the landscape. So I'm glad to see stuff like that around.
And like, didn't the Wachowskis get inspired a lot by like, was it just anime or is it like also Japanese filmmaking and martial arts?
I think it's a mix of both. Because like there's a lot of stuff they pulled from anime, but there's also stuff that they like took from like actual movies. So yeah. But go ahead.
Are there like foreign superhero movies? I am like not at all like I'm not very much into like the foreign scene quite yet, but like Americans lose their mind over Marvel. Like
there's not really
is there like a Mexican Superman movie?
I have no idea.
I would
it's on
hope
Netflix.
so.
I saw it a few times. I can't tell. I couldn't remember if it was a satire or not. But I was like, oh, this looks interesting. And I never watched it. And it's like off the queue page. I'm trying to think of other ones. Like a lot of they're not superheroes per se, but like a lot of Chinese movies, they're going pretty intense with what they're doing. Where it's like over the top, people will like climb up buildings like it's nothing. Does that count as superhero?
It's a superhero feat, I would say.
Or like in Journey to the West, when they have like the guy turns into a monkey general. Does that count? Or like he can grow his giant foot and like he has a giant foot he fights with.
Interesting.
It's by the same guy who made Kung Fu Hustle and Journey to the West. And it's like, okay, this is weird. And like, I guess it's like mystical powers. I guess it counts as superheroes. I don't know.
But I think that brings up an interesting conversation because like a lot of the superhero, especially the Disney made ones, they're very much trying to target the Chinese market, which I don't know. I don't really have any opinion on that. really, but I just think it's interesting. I feel like superhero movies is really just an American thing for the most part. Like I can't think of any off the top of my head that are like, yeah, it's a superhero movie in, Japan or whatever, like, I don't know. I feel like, especially in Japan in general, it's a lot more. They tend to relegate that stuff to like animation. A lot of stuff like that doesn't get made in live action, which is a stark contrast to how things are here in the West.
Well, I
I was
started to
about to
type,
say, like,
do other countries have? And the first thing that popped up was, do other countries have credit scores? Which is not at all what I was going for.
Damn, I need to know that. I need to know that. But well,
I was gonna say a lot of anime has like superhero elements.
yeah, like
Like
My
you think
Hero
about it.
Academia,
Yeah.
which is a perfectly okay show. Yeah. But I feel like me and Willis have been dominating the conversation a little bit. Sophie, you have any
Yeah.
thoughts or opinions?
Not particularly, because I feel like a lot of times when foreign film is approached, typically people just like do it to be like snobbish,
Yeah.
those types of film kids are like, oh, I watch the French movies in my free time, and like there's the highlight of cinema and like all those types of things. So I feel like a lot of times people feel like they're very inaccessible and
Yeah.
like they're not for everyday viewing, and I'm finally like moving out of that section of my life where I like I sat down, and I have been sitting down with like the movie night crew, and we've just been like watching things that I typically wouldn't go for, just because like I'm always worried that I won't fully get anything because I don't really have a good cultural understanding of things. But
Yeah.
it's been a lot of fun, and I do enjoy like these interesting takes on like movie making and writing and that kind of thing, because it is very different from a very like Western writing style where we kind of all like have the same conventions in every movie, and I think they do a really good job of being not that but still like not straying too far.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. Like, I don't know, when I got into foreign movies, I guess it was like a year or two ago, I tried to like watch more. I do hate that reputation, like you said, of like, people trying to be snobs or whatever. What did you see?
Turbo Kid is from New Zealand.
Oh, does that count as? I thought it was filmed in Canada, but no, I guess.
This Canadian and New Zealand production.
Okay.
Mm,
Does that mean
Turbo
Lord
Kid
of the
is one of
Rings is
my
foreign?
I mean, I guess so. I don't know, because that was like I don't know.
I think Elijah Woods was like the only American actor in it.
That's fair. Well, if Turbo Kid counts as a foreign film, then Turbo Kid is my favorite foreign film.
oh my gosh. But yeah, like I do going back to what you were saying about like the reputation of foreign movies, like I do kind of hate that it's like kids try to be snobbish, like I only watch the highest art forms. Oh, like you didn't watch Gene Dealman, oh, you're such a casual.
No idea.
Gene Dealman, for our viewers, for people who don't know, it's a 3-hour movie about a lady and her relationship with her son, and most of the movie is just her like cleaning and cooking and doing the most mundane stuff in a 3-hour movie.
High
I haven't
art.
seen it. Yeah, I just can't wrap my head around watching that. But shout out to it is direct. I think it's directed by a woman, if I'm correct. Oh, I think so. But shout out to her.
Does Tintin count as a foreign film? Is Tintin
I
a foreign
guess,
film franchise, bro?
do we count British films as
Yeah,
foreign?
Yeah, I
I
I
would say
think
so.
so.
But like,
It's different
different.
enough, I think, to where
like, because I was thinking about like Train Spotting
yeah,
as like, would you treat that as a foreign film? Because it's not very based in American culture, but it's still Western.
I would still
Yeah.
I would still treat it as a foreign movie just because like those movies aren't real. Well, that movie in particular is not really seeped in American culture. I think any movie that is different from I think
It made like $200 million at the box office. So like,
oh wow, I wasn't aware of that.
yeah, it was a pretty big hit. And that was like back in the 90s too.
I think there's a difference between like the westernized foreign film and then like we have these very like different sets of because I'm sure foreign film is just like any other kind of film where we've got this like it's more complicated than just calling something foreign film versus like not foreign film.
Yeah.
There are levels to it obviously because like there are some British movies that I'll watch and I'm like I don't get a single ounce of this humor and like it's all above me. Like I don't like there was that one spy movie that I watched. It was like all like 70s British spy humor and it was just not good to me. I did not have a good time watching that movie. It was awful.
I feel like the great exchange kind of for English movies is the Austin Powers movies. You know, those movies are very much based on like 60s British culture,
Yeah.
which I don't know.
I just watched Goldmember earlier today, so I'm thinking about that. Yeah,
yeah,
it
like,
sounds like
there's a lot of like especially when I found out about the production of those movies and like Mike Myers was very specifically going for like 60s British stuff because it kind of made him dedicated to his late father, you know. So I feel like that's a good balance, I guess. I don't know.
I would like to throw in that I think that the collection of movies that the Beatles made, I would like to count those as foreign film. Just because those are whack. But they were fun. I mean I love them, but
yeah. I think that's fair.
Where should we place Taika Waititi's works in foreign film?
There's
now
a clear,
like he was eventually got into Hollywood.
Yeah.
But he made like What We Do in the Shadows, Hunt for the Wilder People, like all these stuff.
I think
New Zealand, and then he got to America.
I think his movies like Hunt for the Wilder People are very much more foreign versus something like What We Do in the Shadows, which is very much like it's a mockumentary, so it's kind of playing on that style a little bit. So I think
that was like all New Zealand indie stuff.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Sure.
Wilder People was made with like American money, I think.
Oh, word!
Because it came out in 2016, right? I was like the same time as Thor Ragnarok.
Let me see.
Fact check. I also don't know his other movies, but now What We Do in the Shadows has a TV show.
It does.
Fantastic TV show.
I haven't seen the movie, so I've kind of been.
It's 10 times better. It's one of the best comedies of all time.
That's what I've heard. So Hunt for the Wilder People came out in 2016. Thor Ragnarok came out the next year. And then Jojo Rabbit came out 2 years after that.
Yeah.
Jojo Rabbit, I don't think it's kind of an American movie a little bit. So
it's very American.
I didn't finish it.
It was very good. I liked it.
It's a
I thought it was a really good take after watching so many World War II movies.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. It reminded me, I hate to say this, it reminded me a lot of Wes Anderson. So
It did a little bit. It had that feel, but it
Speaking
didn't
of,
have
oh,
the
go ahead.
snobbery of Wes Anderson though. Like the
Yeah.
like high art kind of. It's like this is a man pretending to be Hitler, or a boy's imagination of what Hitler is, and then gets thrown out a window.
Speaking of Wes Anderson, I remember I found out he was from Texas, and I was like, what? How did this happen? Like, this is very, because like he has the sensibilities of kind of like a French person or filmmaker, you know, and he's from Texas, so that's very interesting. I wonder how.
I mean,
Mhm.
you see Owen Wilson though, and then you're like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
in his
that
early
makes
films, that
sense.
man's a Texan, and it's like because they started their careers together, which is really weird to think about.
It is. It is very weird to think about. Like, it's very interesting.
Wes Anderson, without Wes Anderson, there would be no Lightning McQueen. Like,
There'd be no Wedding Crashers.
yeah,
Mm.
Dang. What up?
What I'm
Okay.
what I'm discovering here on my reading about foreign superheroes is that there are foreign superheroes and like myths and everything, but they're just not as like popularized as like American superheroes are.
I do know that
Which is interesting. I think that says a lot about
I can't really
us.
think of any like German comic book manufacturers. I think most of ours stems from like comic books, and then even Britain has a lot of comics, like V for Vendetta. It's very because Alan Moore's he's English or Scott or is he Welsh? Or I don't know.
Yeah.
Alan Moore, he writes a lot. I guess it's our version of like the old demigods concept.
Yeah.
It's like people with.
It's a lot of. I think that's where a lot of superhero stuff comes from anyway. So it's just kind of like, we're gonna take this, we're gonna update it, So, in a sense, I guess. I guess, can we talk about Ghibli movies? So I can talk about.
I know next to nothing.
I that's like,
Go ahead.
I would say that's my expertise, as I have seen them all. So.
Oh, you've seen all of them? Wow.
I have, yeah. I have nothing better to do with my time, I guess.
Wow. No, that's a perfect use of time. There's never a bad time to watch a Ghibli movie. But, well, I guess since you're the expert per se, Sophie, you can go.
Well, I got into them because I read the book for Howl's Moving Castle, and then watched the Ghibli adaptation, and the animation's fantastic. The movie is a little different than the book, obviously, but I didn't mind the differences that much. Kiki's Delivery Service is wonderful. Spirit Away is wonderful. God, what is it? Porco Rosso is good. My Neighbor Totoro, fantastic piece. A Grave of Fireflies makes me want to cry every time I see it. That one hits really hard. Oh God, there's one that's like really cute and that I like to watch whenever I'm feeling sad. Hold on.
My Neighbor Totoro made me cry just because of how wholesome it was, and I was like, man, I wish life was like this,
Whisper of the Heart is really good because I think that it has like a very nice and neat storyline that I enjoy. But The Cat Returns is funky, and I love that one. I love that one purely because of how funky it is with the cats. 10 out of 10 movie. I don't know. I think there's something to be said about Ghibli movies because I think that they kind of started this push for like Americans to be more open with animated film.
I
I
agree.
think a lot of us look at Ghibli films as like separate from like most forms of animated media, but I think really it's just opening the gates,
Yeah.
which I think is very important to do.
I do remember when I was younger, I used to watch Disney VHSs, and they used to always have the trailers for those movies in the before the movie played in on VHS. And I always used to, when I was a kid, I never watched them till I got older. But when I was a kid, I was like, man, these movies look so interesting. I wish I could watch them. Just never got around to it. But I don't know, just Miyazaki in general, like his movies, just it's crazy. Like I don't know how. Like you watch a Ghibli movie and it's like the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. All like 9 times out of 10, and it's just like, man,
The animation is flawless. I think it's fantastic. I don't know. The only one that I avoid watching is Spirited Away, but that's just because I think the main character is really fucking annoying.
yeah, that's fair.
I think she's an annoying little kid, and it annoys me to listen to her whine. And so like I just like I kind of remove myself from that one. But other than that, I think they do a really good job of using music. The scores for those are fantastic.
This the song they play at the end of Kiki's Delivery Service gets me every time. Oh man. Whew. I don't know how the movies are not supposed to be this good. Oh, like damn. Like I guess well let me get in my Kiki's Delivery Service bag real quick. Spoiler warning. So well, I don't know if that's really a movie you can kind of spoil. Oh well. Spoiler warning for Kiki's Delivery Service anyways. So at the end, like where she learns how to fly again, I remember I watched that. I was working a really and I got home and I opened the Amazon package, you know. We're not sponsored by Amazon, by the way. Yeah. I opened the package, you know, I got the Blu-ray and I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch this. And when I don't know what happened to me when I watched it, when she was like, fly, you know, I started sobbing uncontrollably. And I was like, man, that
I just think they do a very good job of like getting you very attached to the central character in each one. And I think that's one of the best things a film can do. Especially one that is trying to like they deal with some pretty heavy shit in Ghibli movies. A lot of loss, a lot of like changes, a lot of like I mean Grave of Fireflies is about these two now orphaned kids like just living it up.
Princess Mononoke is another one that I really like.
Yes. I always forget about that one, but yes.
I haven't seen it in a while. But I do remember it reminded me a lot of like Zelda, I guess, which is cool. But yeah, Ghibli movies, they do deal with a lot of like I feel like it's kind of the perfect idea of what entertainment that's supposed to be for kids should be, you know?
Yeah, I think it does a way better job of dealing kids how to deal with things as opposed to like Disney movies.
Minions.
Yeah, because like what's the moral lesson that you're supposed to learn in Minions?
I have no idea.
Banana?
Oh man. Yeah, I really love those movies. Miyazaki is working on some movie he's been working on for years, and I don't know when that's coming out, but whenever it does, I will be there. Because
we should also briefly touch on foreign video games. I think they also kind of get
Yeah,
kicked to the curb. But
I can't think of any. Well, a lot of games that I play are like they're either made by like a Japanese company or some company in Europe.
You don't want to admit to those. You don't want to admit you play those, right?
I, ooh,
Yeah. I'm
ooh,
trying to think. Nintendo. We
yeah,
all know Nintendo.
that was awesome. Except for when
There's
it's not.
Final Fantasy, like Konami.
Yeah,
Iwajima. I don't.
Capcom, Resident Evil.
mhm.
I mean, a lot of stuff is built in like South Korea. I know StarCraft is really popular in South Korea.
Yeah,
I don't know many game
StarCraft still
companies.
exists.
StarCraft is still going. I think go strong forever.
yes.
StarCraft 3, they're like
They're
tournaments still.
obsessed with that game.
Is
I don't
Dota
get
still
it.
a thing? Do people still play Dota?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
I could never get into that game. Um, so
I forgot what Dota is. Hold on.
it's like a MOBA, I think.
It's like a knockoff League of Legends, right?
Yeah, basically.
Oh yeah, people Dota 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dota 2 is the big
The
one.
2. Yeah,
All of-
people still play that, just not as much.
What other games can I think of that are? Oh wait. One of my, one of the games that people talk about a lot when they talk about foreign games, Shadow of the Colossus on the
Mm.
PlayStation 2, which is a very interesting game. I think. I've never I've seen people play it. I've never finished it to completion. But I think that's what I like most about, I guess, foreign media in general is like they have a really great way of like making you think about stuff outside of the entertainment form in a way that doesn't feel like intrusive, Like
Mhm.
Shadow of the Colossus deals with a lot of like very dark questions about like life and stuff like that. And they figured out a way to put that in like a game. I think you're supposed to have fun playing, which I find very interesting. I'm trying to think of some more, or just like Final Fantasy games where it's like, but that's kind of like the anime thing where it's like the power of friendship, can overpower all or something. But
What about like Shenmue? Shenmue was good. Didn't they just release the other one?
yeah, the third
Everybody-
one, yeah, after like 20 years or something. Yeah, I've never played those games. The only games that I played that are kind of like that are like the Yakuza games, which
Mhm.
also have a very dark story compared to how fun they are at times. What else? I don't know. There's just a lot. Just a lot of good foreign.
I feel like there's
games.
there's a lot of media that was released overseas that hasn't like transferred over here quite yet
Yeah.
because there are some pretty strict. I don't even know what it is, but
Yeah, that is true. Like what is it, Mother 3 or Earthbound, whatever.
don't even bring up Mother 3. People will get
That-
their
I heard about that game because I played Earthbound for like 2 minutes. I was like, okay. But then people keep talking about Mother 3 come out, please, please come out.
It's not happening.
I do think that's funny, like Japanese game companies, specifically Nintendo, they will like hold on to games. They're like, oh, the West wants to play this? Nah, we're gonna hold on to this. Oh, we got the cool version over here. You don't get that, bro. You get the trash one, bro. Like, come on. Like, that's whack. Like, not to get in my weeb bag real quick, but like there's a lot of like Naruto games and stuff that are very cool that they're like region locked in Japan, which I think is whack. Yo, put it out, please. Like, dang, why we gotta get the whack one? Like, or Persona, the company Atlas, they'll like spend like the Japanese version will come out, and then 6 months later the American version will come out. And like, bro, you didn't have to take this long, man. You could have just had it ready on the same day, but at the same time, I understand, I guess, because like I don't know, maybe that's how they feel when American games come out, and they're like, we got to do a translation, I guess, or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just looked up one of my favorite games was made in Turkey by Tail Worlds, Mountain Blade, Warband. Did y'all ever play those Mountain Blade
I've heard
games?
of it.
It's like
played it.
it's the best. It's one of the best RPGs ever, even though it's the goofiest thing. Like you basically start as a dude and you build an army around like different kingdoms, and then you conquer like castles and villages, and you basically just play as in medieval knight until you conquer the entirety of like a continent. It's the closest thing you'll probably get to like a D&D experience in a video game where you can like choose companions. You have like the same chart of like skills and weapons. And it's probably like one of the biggest RPGs of all time. And it was made in Turkey. And I just figured that out, looking that up. I'm like, oh, snap.
Speaking of RPGs, you just reminded me of one of my favorites that I have not replayed because the game is too damn long. The Witcher 3, which I really like.
Yeah, that's Polish, right?
Yeah, that is Polish. It's a very long game. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to replay it, but I do remember getting a bad ending in the game, and I felt so awful that I was like, we got to reset my save so I can go back and fix what I messed up. But that's a very good game. Gameplay is a little.
When's season 2 coming out?
I haven't even watched season 1, so I have no idea.
It's fun.
That's what I've heard.
It's not the smartest show, but it's fun. Like, it's definitely worth a watch.
I'll definitely have to.
We didn't even talk on Genshin Impact that came out last year.
Yeah, there's a lot of
the Gundam games, like everything Gundam.
Yo, they did Puyo Puyo Tetris 2.
Oh yeah, Tetris is Russian.
You know what that just reminded me of? I don't know who this person is, but I was in my film studies class, and it was a girl playing Tetris on her computer during the entirety of the lecture, and I was like, "Yo, I see you getting busy on the Tetris right there." She was pretty good too. I was like, "Damn, I'm not that good at Tetris," but yeah.
I finally beat my high score on my laptop Tetris, and I lost my mind.
Tetris is a Russian. It was made in Russia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in the 90s.
Shout out them. That game is fun.
Also the Naruto and Dragon Ball Z games, the fighting games.
Oh, I just remembered
we mentioned those.
I was about to say. The mech genre is so awesome. I love it to death. I love giant robots punching each other and fighting. It is so awesome. I don't know what it is. It's
giant
like
robots.
It hits my like
kaijus
5-year-old brain or something, and it's like, oh man, I gotta watch this. So it's very cool.
21-year-old brain's like, dang, I like seeing punching. Like, it's the
same
feeling, same energy.
Like kaiju video games? Do we have one of those yet?
Yes. Godzilla Monsters Unleashed. Godzilla Saves the Planet.
I used to have that game.
Both released on GameCube. Yeah. Super dated.
It is very
super good. They tried to make a 2014 one and it was terrible, and we don't talk about it. I think they're trying to make another Godzilla game.
I think there's an Earth Defense Force game where you
you need the Wii control.
No,
the ants thing.
Yeah, with the ants and everything. You fight a bunch of like giant bugs and ants and whatnot, and it's it's kind of cool.
Really cool. You gotta like design your armor and like weapon skills. Yeah. It's like on its like 7th game now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very cool.
That one's pretty cool. And that like, because your team has to be designed to kill as many ants as possible, but also fill up the proper tactics, because you need someone with a jetpack to get the flying ants. And then you need like the artillery guy and the medic. And it's like, okay.
Yeah, that game
I
is
played
pretty
that game
cool.
in a hot minute.
What else? I think that's really only because most of the games that have like where you're fighting big monsters or stuff like that is like something kind of different, I guess. I don't know.
I guess Shadow of the Colossus
Yeah, that
counts.
counts. Yeah, I can't think of any more off the top of my head besides those like Godzilla games that I played when I was like 7, and I thought were so fun, but they're they're not that good in
They're fun, though.
retrospect. Yeah, they are fun. We didn't even get into fighting games. Ooh,
I feel like
Street.
that's a can of worms.
that
Yeah.
is, me personally, I like Dragon Ball Fighters. It's a good game. I like Marvel versus Capcom a lot. It's such a sadness that franchise is dead to me. It's very sad. Street Fighter, Smash Bros, of course. Tekken. I was never any good at that. Those games
That
are.
one's the hard one.
I feel like with fighting games, you get to a certain point where like you're like, okay, I'm kind of good, and then you play somebody that's like really good, and you're like, okay, I'm not that good anymore. Yeah,
I feel like with that brand of game, there's only so much that you can do and like have fun with it if you're not gonna like go professional.
yeah, that's
Because like,
true.
what's the point of sitting there and like practicing if you're not gonna like go to a tournament and like win something with it?
Yeah.
It's the Dark Souls logic. You just want to be good.
I don't get
I
those
still follow a streamer who still plays the original Dark Souls sometimes, and I love that for him. But like,
I can't play those games.
People love the
I'm not a
challenge, I
fan
guess.
of me getting angry at video games. It's not a pretty sight. I am not. I can't get into those games maybe because I'm not any good at them. But people are like, oh man, you just got to keep practicing. Listen, I don't have time like that to keep playing the same boss over and over and over again. Bro, I quit. Here, give me my money back.
It's
man.
just when you find that groove and then you can just like what you can do. That's how Dark Souls is. Sometimes I can't play it. I hate it. But like I can see why people love it.
Yeah, I understand it, I guess. What else? Well, we just got into the video game talk,
Do we need to talk about Kurosawa basically making
We didn't even talk about him. How many how many Kurosawa movies have we all watched collectively?
I've seen Ron and Magnificent or Seven Samurai, which was those two.
I've seen Seven Samurai, Throne of Blood, Ikuru, The Hidden Fortress. Yeah, not to. Wow, I just flexed a little bit. So, how many have you seen, Sophie? That's fair. That's fair. They're
He's
like
the godfather of like Western film, technically.
those are kind of like those are the very like film bro movies. I feel like it's like,
unsurprised.
It's like he's the guy that shows that you aren't racist. So you say you watch Kurosawa.
That's a good
Those are the
point.
film bros usually.
Yeah.
You two bro it up. I'm gonna go pee while you bond over those movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, those movies are awesome. I really like those. Toshiro Mifune is awesome. He's great in High and Low. That's another one that I've seen. Yeah, his set. I like how George Lucas especially. He was like, "Yo, we watched Hidden Fortress and we're like, let's put it in space." They basically just ripped the whole movie
Pretty
off.
much. Yeah, because Vader's literally just the samurai suit with a mask. Didn't Kurosawa walk out of his son's like premiere showing of one of his movies because it wasn't to his standard?
Oh, I have no idea. That sounds
like
kind
his
of
son.
hardcore.
his son had like a premiere at a film festival. And it was like his first movie, and his Kurosawa just walked out on him because he
Damn,
just didn't. It wasn't to his standard of what a movie was. It's
damn.
like, oh, I know.
That that's another thing. Like Miyazaki, Hayao Miyazaki, and his son Goro, who is also an animator. They have like a weird relationship. and
This is the only
stuff.
thing I know about like Studio Ghibli is that there's like a lot of controversy about both of them,
Yeah,
like their weird relationship.
I don't know what it is about the Japanese father son duo here. They just have a turbulent relationship. They're like, oh,
Yeah,
I like to
because
make
doesn't
it differently.
does his son do like 3D animation? Is that what he's going
I
towards?
think he does a little bit of both. I know he's made
Okay.
some 2D animation. I know the movie Earwig and the Witch, which I heard is not very good.
Yeah.
That's 3D. LJ is podcast bombing right now.
Yeah.
Dude, I just wanted to get her in, but now she
That's
decided
fair.
to be an asshole about it.
But yeah, Kurosawa, that's like the
Like-
hardcore film, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
But, like-
I watched Kurosawa, bro.
Yeah.
You're not rocking with that, bro.
But like a lot of the Western movie makers, like in the 60s, really took from him because they watched him as kids. Because
Yeah.
like how many movies are just ripoffs of his? Like Magnificent Seven, Star Wars. There's like a ton more.
There's so many.
So are you telling me that I've only ever seen ripoffs and not like real cinema?
Pretty much.
then?
Damn. Yo, we got the dog.
Junie.
You
Just put chapstick on.
need to buy some chapstick. That's a good point.
How do y'all feel about Taika Waititi possibly making the Akira remake?
I just think that Akira needs to be left alone.
Yeah,
That sounds like a walking disaster waiting to
don't-
happen.
I don't understand why in America there's this thing where they're just like, there's only one good live action version of an anime that I like, and that is the Speed Racer movie. I will stand by that because
It's
it
pretty.
goes for how goofy the series is. It knows how stupid it is. It plays with it. It has fun with it, you know, but it also gives like a nice emotional core as well. Other than that, there's like a Lita Battle Angel, which people like, but it's okay, I guess. It's all right, you know.
Isn't that Robert Rodriguez? We didn't even talk about Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't seen a lot of his movies outside of like Spy Kids.
Spike.
And Shark Boy
Spy
and
Kids is
Lava
like a
Girl.
different. There's From Dusk Till Dawn.
There's
Tarantino and
I know
George
he
Clooney.
made Desperado. with
Desperados is
Antonio Banderas.
which was like a sequel to another movie he made for like $1,400.
Oh, you know
Which is
who
like-
we should talk about?
Who?
We should talk about Del Toro.
How do we forget? Oh my God. He's one of my favorite directors. I love that man.
I feel like a lot of his like current are very like Americanized, but we still have pieces like Pan's Labyrinth.
Yes.
Which is,
I love that movie. It's so beautiful, but it's so dark at the same time.
creepy.
What were his horror movies before that?
He
I haven't
made
watched them.
there's some, I think it's The Devil's something. Let me see. Don't quote me on this.
I couldn't say if I try. I just know I've heard a lot about them.
Yeah. The Devil's Backbone. It's a Spanish ghost movie he made in 2001. Then there's like Kronos. He made that in 1993. Yeah, so he has like a good little run before like Blade 2 and then Hellboy and then Hellboy 2 and then Pacific Rim, and but I feel like he's kind of getting back to, I think The Shape of Water was a real pivot back to like his first 3 movies. I haven't seen that movie yet because I don't know why.
I really liked it. but
Yeah, it was
I think I'm in
really
the
good.
minority there.
I think
No.
I just was put off by the idea of, there's a fish man getting action, you know?
Um, yeah, but like
Is,
so
is it because okay, wait, is it because the fishman's getting action, or is it because the fishman's getting action and you aren't?
Oh dang.
Like,
Let's
and
not psychoanalyze.
okay.
I'm not gonna answer that on
Okay.
cam. Damn. Damn, you just cooked me, bro.
I'm
Ooh.
sorry.
It's all good. It's all good, man.
It we all think about it at least once.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that also there's probably so much more like South American film that we're probably not touching on just because I don't really know much.
Yeah,
I know one movie.
the South
I don't remember the
American
name of it.
film industry is a little weird to say. Like, it's not a lot of
Rio and Rio 2.
Oh man, there's like not. I know
There's that one really good one. It's a horror movie about like a hotel and there's like an outbreak in it. They just did an American remake of it, but the original's like in
I don't know.
some South American country. I don't know. It was very good.
I know there's Sergio Leone. I think he might be an Italian director.
He made spaghetti westerns.
Yeah, he made spaghetti westerns in the 60s.
I watched
what is a spaghetti western?
and a western that was shot in Italy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's an Italian film director, my bad.
Yeah. The Clint Eastwood movies, those are spaghetti westerns.
Yeah.
I would love for that to be my new title. I would love to be called Spaghetti Western. Are you kidding me? That's hilarious.
That's been like a term.
Those are like the movies that well, those are kind of film bro movies too, because Quentin Tarantino rips a lot from movies. So
I looked up South American movies, City of God and City of Men.
I love City of God. Oh my God.
I watched Elite Squad, which is actually a pretty interesting South American take on action movies. Like, it's shot really well for like Babel takes place, I think.
Oh yeah, that's
Emperor's New Groove,
which is God. Emperor's New Groove, slapper.
Technically,
but yeah, City of God. I really like that movie. That movie is amazing. It's so good. It's kind of traumatic a little bit, but it's a great movie. Please watch City of God if you get a chance. It's very good. Prepare to be a little sad though, I guess.
I'm trying to think of African movies that are made that aren't
Who Killed Captain Alex?
I was about to say, Who Killed Captain Alex is really good, and it shows the importance of different styles and like.
They made that movie for $200. They only had a $200 budget, and that is amazing for them to make a whole action movie with just $200, and like he had to use like a computer he bought off the internet.
I thought he had to build it himself, like from scrap parts or
something like that. But he had to get people in his town to be in the movie. Like people would never act it. It is so great.
Just people know martial arts too.
Yeah. Then there's a video DJ that it like chimes in.
Yeah.
In the middle of the movie, he's like, "Whoa, Black Bruce Lee." Yeah. Or like he just says random stuff. And I love that. I unironically love that movie because it's just great. Like that a filmmaker from Uganda, is getting like people know about his movies, like, so I think that's awesome. Like, now, I hate to use the term objective because it's all subjective, so I'm not going to use that. But it's obviously it's a fun movie. It's a great movie. Great movie depending on what you're looking for in a movie. If you're looking to have fun,
relative to its budget, it's very good.
Yeah, relative to its budget, it's very good. If you're looking for a movie where you can have fun and you're gonna laugh, Who Killed Captain Alex? If you're looking for like a quote unquote a high piece of art or whatever, you just go watch something else.
I watched a Hungarian man eat till he throws up.
It's
Oh God,
disgusting.
I
Or-
don't even think taxidermy is high art. I think it got very poor. Oh my God.
That's what makes it high art. Is because it's controversial.
That's like the
You don't get it.
Lars von Trier movies that I haven't seen any of his movies. I'm
Step on the
I'm kind of trying to not watch Antichrist because I've heard so many disgusting things that I don't want to watch. But there's like that. There's
LJ
like,
just made me spell taxidermia so wrong.
damn,
Oh, never mind. It's got pretty good reviews.
she's trying to get in the shot. She's like, yo, she wants to chime in.
Who put in those reviews?
It's got an 81% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Is it like old white dudes?
I
Probably.
don't know. Let me look.
Probably.
If I feel like if there's not diversity in that, then it's probably just weird white dudes with fetishes.
Probably. Speaking of another foreign movie that I really like, Gaspar Noé's Climax, which is a very anxiety-filled movie. What, Willis? I see you shaking your head. You don't
No
like-
idea what that is.
You don't? Damn.
No.
It's a movie. It's about this troupe of dancers, and they're all at a party, and somebody spikes the punch with some type of drug or whatever, and the whole movie is basically them tripping throughout the whole movie, and they're like getting angry with each other, like who spiked the drink, and like it's really well shot. There's a lot of cool dance choreography, but it's a very intense movie to watch. What else? That's a cool movie. Suspiria, I think that's a French.
That's foreign.
Yeah, that's foreign.
Actually,
What do you mean?
Is it Spanish or Italian? I don't think it's French, is it?
I don't think so. I know
Suspiria.
I think LJ's about to knock her ball over, but I don't know when. So if there's a very loud noise, that's what it is.
I still need to see Suspiria.
Oh, Suspiria is Italian.
That makes a lot of sense.
Cool.
Italians got weird horror movies.
I do have weird horror movies, but what time? 16. You guys think we should wrap, or do we got more to say?
Sure. I'm just reading now the reviews for taxidermia.
Is it old white dudes?
No, surprisingly, it has a bunch of different
Interesting.
Okay.
takes, but all the ones that are like, this movie's terrible, or like, oh God, I can't stand the middle part, which is
Valid.
the competition eating one.
Valid.
I'm trying to think if there's any more movies I have to. There's a Taiwanese filmmaker. He's not alive anymore. Called Edward Yang, and I've seen 3 of his movies: Taipei Story, Yi, and A Brighter Summer Day. All 3 of those movies are some of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen in my life. Yi is a 3-hour movie about the circle of life through various characters that you follow, and it's such a beautiful movie. A Brighter Summer Day is a 1950s or 60s coming of age movie in Taiwan about something about how like the Vietnam War was almost about to happen or something like that. That's another beautiful movie. It's just amazing. It's 4 hours though, but it was worth it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I had to split it into 2 halves to watch it because I just couldn't sit down 4 hours straight.
I was watching Ron by Kurosawa. It's just
It's great.
it's too much.
Yeah, a lot of these foreign movies are kind of long. That's the thing. Like, and then Taipei Story, another great movie that I love. Another Edward Yang film. Shout out Edward Yang. Rest in peace, bro.
Did you hear Michael K. Williams died?
I did.
That hurt. I saw that right before I got on here.
That did hurt. I saw it too.
I was like, Chopke from Boardwalk Empires, the biology teacher in Community,
Omar
He's
from
like,
The Wire, man.
yeah. He was in
Pain,
The Purge,
pain.
Lovecraft Country. He was really good in Lovecraft Country.
Just no jokes today, just pain.
I know. 12 Years a Slave.
Ooh, I, I don't want to. I don't want to go into that movie. That's a movie I don't feel comfortable watching. You know, it's like 3 hours, and it's a slavery movie.
He was like a back. He had like 4 lines in the female Ghostbusters.
Oh, oh, the
Like
Paul
he's just
Feig movie.
yeah. He just William K. Williams just kind of showed up in it and then
Nice.
did nothing.
I know he's in the. This is way off topic. He's in the NBA 2K21 story mode as the agent for your created basketball player. So, you know,
Yeah.
shout out
Yeah.
him. Rest in peace, bro.
I know.
It sucks, man. But I do have one more foreign film thing to talk about. Wong Kar Wai, the Chinese filmmaker. His movies are awesome. They're very sad. They're a lot about romance and heartbreak. And, you know, it's just very good aesthetic movies. They're shot really well. Might cry a little bit at the end. Chungking Express, you got me, bro. I cried a little bit. But what else? In the Mood for Love, probably my favorite of his, about two married people who find out their spouses are cheating on them with each other, and they have kind of like a romance, but they don't want to be as bad as their spouses who cheated on them. And it's a very beautiful movie.
And he was Shang-Chi's dad.
Yeah,
recently.
Tony Leung.
Like
yeah,
I thought that was weird to see. It's like I've seen him before.
Yeah,
that man is still. I don't know how he stayed attractive. It's so weird. Like my entirety of my life, that guy's been just a good-looking man. It's like, oh,
yeah.
He's 59
Sometimes they're
years
just born
old.
like that.
I know.
Age gracefully, you know, as they say. What other movies do I like from him? Fallen Angels is really good. I think that's the last one that I've seen from him. We didn't talk about. Well, we kind of touched on it. We didn't go into Bong Joon-ho as much as I would like.
I feel like we've talked about him so much before.
Yeah, we talked about The Host and Parasite, and
we talked about the guy who made Old Boy as well.
Yeah,
I forgot his name.
Yeah,
we
talked about him.
We didn't talk that much about John Woo.
Yeah. See, John Woo is a little hard because a lot of his movies are hard to find. Like,
yeah.
I didn't realize it until I got back into movies, but especially with the video store that I used to go to, closed down. A lot of his movies are hard to find. Like, if you don't have a hard Blu-ray copy or something, it's very difficult to find a lot of those movies because they're not on streaming services or anything.
You need
that.
a 180p copy on YouTube.
Yeah, and I don't want to watch it like that.
I forgot about Ang Lee.
Oh yeah. Is it Crouching Tiger,
Hidden Dragon?
Yes, yeah. I love that movie. That movie's awesome. Such awesome action scenes. Any movie that has romance to a degree, you already got me, bro. Just fill in the rest, man.
Ang Lee, you got Hulk, then Brokeback Mountain.
That's such a weird filmography. He went from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon to Hulk to Brokeback Mountain. He made Gemini Man as well.
Yeah, that's what I was about to look up. And it's like, what was that one movie?
That's
Life of Pi.
That's such a weird filmography because none of those movies have anything in common. But
I love that for him though.
That's cool, man. That's what's up. Ang Lee.
Do we need to talk about Bollywood at all? I haven't seen any Bollywood films.
I haven't seen any.
I have dipped my toes into Bollywood just because I think it's fun, but I don't have anything substantial to add into that conversation.
Only time I've seen Bollywood movies is unironically when I'm watching like a YouTube video and I don't check the what's playing next, and so it just comes on and I'm like, "Yo, what the fuck is this? Why are they singing?" You know?
I
And
see the
cut it
weird
off.
sets and like the weird clips that are memed.
I love the speaking of African films, those movies are the clips from those movies get me every time. It's so funny. Not in like I love how serious they take those movies. I love it. You know, it's very fun. Sometimes movies you just need to have fun. I feel like a lot of people forget that you should have fun on a production or whatever. You know, so
Yeah, I think a lot of people take it way too seriously.
I agree.
Need more B movies. I want to see.
Correct.
And the next Godzilla movie, I need to see him have speech bubbles again.
Speech
He's
bubbles.
talking to Angirius. Where they give him that in Godzilla versus Gigan, where it's like, how do we communicate that they're talking? Give them the speech bubbles.
Oh man, that's what they need.
Beautiful.
But yeah, I think that just about closes the book. We said our piece about what foreign movies we do know about. Obviously, there's always more coming out in the future. But we do have a segment that we like to do on this show where we recommend something, anything. Doesn't have to be a movie. It can be a bar of soap, toothpaste.
I feel like it's got to be foreign movies, though.
It doesn't have to be.
I think it.
You could recommend Pocky, the Japanese snack, which I've never had. No, wait, I did have it once. A girl in high school.
It's all right.
It's okay. Yeah, I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, but you can recommend anything. I guess I'll go first. What have I been doing recently?
I can go if you need me to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I can recommend 2 movies that are Korean that are a little underrated: Steel Rain and A Hard Day. I watched these in high school and I had to look them up recently because I forgot about them. But Steel Rain is like a North Korean defector, or like not really, tries to get Kim Jong-un to the south of the border to get medical treatment because he was in an assassination attempt. It's like it's an action thriller, so it's like it kind of opens up your mind to like how people think North and South Korea should be seen, how they could like join and not be joined. It's like outside of the American view, which is pretty cool. And A Hard Day from 2014, another Korean movie where a detective accidentally kills a guy while going to his mom's funeral. So he has to find a way to hide the body. But then he finds out someone else knows that he killed a man. And it's hard to explain it without spoiling it.
It's on Hulu, so I might watch it tonight. What was the first movie called?
Steel Rain. It's a Netflix movie.
Okay, got you. Yeah, it is on Netflix. Adding that to the
It's an okay watch. It's interesting just to see from like a different cultural perspective.
Yeah, nice. I still can't think of anything to recommend. Well,
I'm going to recommend to read. You heard me correctly. I just had to read some of Gogol's works. He's known as like the father of modern Russian literature. And I would recommend reading any of his works. I just read The Overcoat, which is it's interesting. It's something. It's pretty short too. But that it's just wonderful prose, and nobody does it like the Russians do. So
gotcha. Okay.
I just learned that there was a sequel to Steel Rain that came out last year.
Oh
boy.
So like I just recommended a movie and apparently it's a film series now.
Nice.
Oh.
Nice. Fuck. What do I want to recommend? Um,
Any video games?
I've been playing like fucking sports games, you know.
Twitch streamers?
I'm gonna recommend sometimes you just need to take care of yourself, and buy some new clothes, make yourself feel better. I know it makes me feel better,
Vegetables?
vegetables, just buy some new clothes if you have the funds to do that, if you, as the prototypical saying says, you look good, you feel good, that's is not a sponsored post. Now brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends. But yeah, take care of yourself, man. Take your vitamins, eat your vegetables, buy yourself some new clothes, enjoy life, because as we're shown on a daily basis, it is a very finite thing.
Sure. Listen to this podcast, run to it, do some exercises, get outside.
Yeah, for sure. All right, this has been another episode of the 1080C podcast, and we'll catch you guys next time. Adios.
Bye.